Still no sign of Captain Cargill's command. Though well supplied, I've decided to ration my goods as if I were part of a post instead of the whole affair. There's a wolf who seems intent on the goings-on here. He does not seem inclined to be a nuisance, however, and aside from Cisco has been my only company. He has appeared each afternoon for the past 2 days. He has 2 milky white paws. If he comes calling tomorrow, I will name him Two Socks.
You're listening to The Night Before, a movie podcast. Each episode, we find a unique place in the city and share a drink and our thoughts about the movie we watched the night before. This is Lee, and I am joined, as always, by my husband, Jesse. So, here we are.
Here we are. Where are
At
we?
The Independent.
Again. I didn't do the research. I think this is our 3rd episode here.
3rd or 4th. Maybe 3rd or 4th.
I know we did Black Bear here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
We've
we
done
did
a
one other
couple
one.
here, yeah.
Usually I have really good memory. But so it's in the evening. We just ran a 5K.
We did just run a 5K.
Well, we didn't
so
just
this is
run
our
it.
after beer 5K. After 5K beer.
Yeah. So we ran one. It was like a virtual 5K.
Virtual.
Called, what is it?
Run.
I'm looking at the back of your shirt. It was for sponsored by To Write Love on Her Arms.
Right.
And it was a run for it. Like run for mental health awareness.
Yeah.
Virtual
Mental
run.
health, addiction, all
Yeah.
of that. So we did that, and that was fun.
So we did well. We both did. You did a little faster than me, but we were sub 13-minute miles.
We were, which was fast for
Yeah.
us, for both of us. So cheers to that. This is a beginning cheers.
All right, I like that. I like
Cheers to
that.
finishing the 5K. And so now we're at Independent, which is in Seminole Heights, and we are drinking a IPA from Three Sons Brewery.
It's called Dopalicious?
Dopalicious.
Is that what it's called?
It is
'Cause
Dopalicious.
I keep saying Dope-tastic.
No, Dopalicious, and it's a hazy IPA. It's really good. Really,
What did
really
he say
good.
when you poured it? When you ordered it?
He said, "It's a hazy boy." I said, "Yes, it is." I,
I was
didn't
like, is he
expect
talking
that.
about the beer? Or is he talking about me?
I didn't expect
I was like, watch
it
it, bub.
because
I've
it
been
didn't
running.
say hazy IPA. It just said IPA.
Yeah.
Three Sons, Dopalicious.
So we did that. We had a little food. We're on round 2. And now we're ready to talk our 1990 movies. This is our 1990 episode.
We finally finished our 5 movies.
Yeah, so we said it would be a month per year, but we've adjusted that to whenever we get
To whenever
the
we
5
finish
films
them,
finished.
because there's
so,
a lot going on.
So it took us about 2 months. But that gives all our listeners time to watch
We
the
had
movies too.
Oscars and film festival and all that stuff going on. So
And then at the close of this episode,
we're going to pick our 1991.
we'll reveal our 1991 picks.
Mhm, yeah.
That neither one of us
Neither
know.
one of us have discussed.
So we each picked 2 1991 films plus Best Picture.
Right.
And this time around, though, we each picked 2 movies.
Mm-hmm.
And we did the Best Picture, Dances with Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And your 2 picks, remind us, were...
For Awakenings and Pretty Woman.
And I picked Young Guns 2 and JOE versus the Volcano.
Yep, she did.
And so our goal in this episode is we're just going to do our personal ranking list going from 5 to 1
Mm-hmm.
to see if any of those films unseats what the Academy said was the Best
Dancing with
Picture
Wolves.
at
Yeah,
the time,
was
which was
Best
Dances
Picture.
with Wolves, starring
Mhm.
Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just do that format. We'll do our
So
old
we'll-
format that we borrowed from another podcast
Yeah, I think it works.
called F This Movie, where we just go 5 to 1. And if one of our picks is higher on the list, we'll pause to talk about it until we get to
That person's pick.
that number, yeah.
So number 5.
So yeah, do you want to go first with your number 5? I have a feeling our number 5 is the same.
Definitely. I mean, I
You-
think.
You hope so?
I hope so. My number 5 was 100%. This was not a hard list
but
for me to
I'm
make.
gripping the table right now. 'Cause I know it's one of my picks.
My number 5 was Young Guns 2.
Yeah.
Young Guns 2 was painful for me to get through. Like,
That
it
was
was
also my number 5.
tough. It was tough.
I have to admit, I was a bit disappointed in that one.
It didn't stand up to your
To my memory.
Yeah, I mean, that happens because you're also a lot younger when you watched it.
Well, and they don't play the Bon Jovi song till the credits. So that's a bummer.
That's all anyone remembers about it.
Yeah,
the Bon
any moment
Jovi
I'm like,
song.
Blaze of Glory is going to kick in now. And it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's not like Batman. The Batman.
The Nirvana song
Yeah.
in Batman?
So they play it like throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my number 5 too. We even
Yeah.
had
I
my
don't even
oldest
have much
son
to
watch
say
it,
about
and I kind of feel bad for even making him watch it.
Well, without watching Young Guns 1, too. So.
I mean, you don't need to see Young Guns 1
No.
to understand 2. But that was my other problem.
It was tough. It
I
was tough.
couldn't remember if I liked Young Guns 1 better or Young Guns 2 better, but I couldn't pick one, obviously, because it didn't come out in 90.
Right.
But as I'm watching Young Guns 2 that whole time, I'm like, maybe it's part 1 that's better.
Definitely. I think it definitely was part 1. I don't even think back in the day I saw Young Guns 2, but I definitely saw Young Guns 1. I can't remember if I loved it, because definitely is not my genre of movie, but
Yeah.
it had all those actors that were so popular.
Pretty Boy Westerns is not one of your genre of movies?
All those actors are very popular back in the day,
They
so I think I
were.
definitely did see it. Everyone did, I think.
No. And some of the iconic scenes I was waiting for that in my memories never appeared, so it might be Young Guns 1.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
So if we
picking
ever
that
roll
one,
back to
but
whatever year
it's
that
okay,
came
I
out,
forgive
88
you.
or 89,
I got through it,
it might get picked.
begrudgingly. But anyway.
So we'll see. Yeah, so that was my number 5 as well.
Okay.
Even like early on, it was one of these like, oh man,
What did I do?
it didn't hold up.
No.
Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
Kiefer?
All right. Yeah. I think that's
all right,
all
so that
we
means
need
we
to
move
say
on
about
to our
that.
number 4.
Number 4.
I'll do my number 4.
Yeah.
Awakenings.
That was my number 4 too.
Oh, really?
So Awakenings, I really liked, but it was slow for me. Like, I remembered liking it a lot more than I did watching it again. I love Robin Williams, and I think I have this nostalgia
But
for
then you saw
him.
Patch Adams years later, and you're like, oh, this is the better Robin Williams as the...
I just remember really
Doctor.
liking that movie for whatever reason back then. But I don't think it's terrible. I think it's still a good movie. I just didn't. It was still very dragged. It dragged on for me. Like, I didn't love it as much as I remember loving it.
I mean, it was like your stereotypical Robin Williams, like idealistic, optimistic, joyful outlook, yet tinged with...
he didn't really play a funny character.
No, he's not playing funny, but like I
Yeah.
said, he believes in these people, but then he also carries that emotional weight. Like, you see that pain
Yeah.
in his character and the struggle, so that was good. And Robert De Niro, it's like, it's funny, right? It's Dustin Hoffman's Rain Man
Yeah.
is the character we remember from back in the day. It's like, wow, Dustin Hoffman was Rain
That
Man,
was a
right? He
good
did a
movie,
person with
yeah.
mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Robert De Niro did a great job of
Playing that. but-
playing the disease and was like really convincing. Like, he was somewhat unrecognizable,
Right. As him, as a person.
and he did a great job with it. But I think that's one of the things that maybe is the distracting part of the film of, oh, well, Robert De Niro is so good. Robin Williams is like dialed in. But as an overall movie, it's just like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I agree. It dragged on. There were definitely good aspects to it, but it dragged on for me. I didn't enjoy it as much this time around.
And I had never seen it.
We may be ranked exactly the same.
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
I think the curveball's coming.
Okay.
I think the curveball's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my first Awakenings viewing.
Yeah.
I'm glad I saw it because I've seen that like iconic cover when it's like Robert De Niro out in the water and
Yeah.
Robin Williams. You know, that scene's in the movie.
Yeah.
So I was happy to have finally seen it. But and I feel like the mental hospital movie
was a thing back then.
It's sort of like not a thing anymore.
It's not. No.
I mean,
'cause
mental hospitals really aren't a thing like
no,
that
they're
anymore.
Not.
But it definitely kind of was a genre of film at one point.
It was, for sure. Yeah.
And now it's not.
That was intriguing back then.
Yeah.
You know?
So.
It really was. But anyway. Number 3.
So that's your number 3.
Oh, my number 3 was...
We're flying through this list.
I know.
No controversy yet.
No. My number 3 is JOE versus the Volcano.
That is higher on my list.
Of course. Yeah, of course. So we're not going to talk about it.
So we won't talk about it in
yet.
a minute, but it's going to be, we will actually talk about it here now because my number 3 is Pretty Woman.
And that's higher on my list.
That's higher on your list.
So
let's talk Joe.
So my number 3 is Joe, and your number 3 is Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
So I really like JOE versus the Volcano a lot. I mean, I liked it a lot. Like there's not much I didn't like about it at all. But when I put it next to Pretty Woman and
So
Dancing,
that the Hanks,
Dances with Wolves,
the Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan rom-com doesn't beat the Richard Gere,
no,
Julia Roberts.
No. No.
So my question is, which one is the more far-fetched concept? The
JOE versus the Volcano.
I didn't get to finish the question, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Suffering from a supposed brain cloud
Which he didn't
issue,
really have.
which he didn't have, and being paid by a rich man to go jump into a volcano to satisfy these people on the volcano, or the rich man who pays a prostitute to be his companion for a week.
That's not
But they're both
far-fetched.
kind of the same movie in some ways. It's rich people. It's
kind
rich
of.
people
Paying
exploiting
for what they want.
It's exploiting others who are below
True.
them, which is a funny that both movies carried that overall
True.
theme. That
I think that I love Meg Ryan and I love Tom Hanks. But we're not talking about Pretty Woman yet, but
well, let's just say, where's Pretty Woman on your list? It's number 2.
yeah,
Okay, so we'll talk about Pretty Woman next.
yeah.
Because JOE versus the Volcano is my number 2.
Yeah, I love Meg Ryan and I love Tom Hanks. But just putting it up next to Pretty Woman, to me, Pretty Woman weighs out at every time. But I super, super, super enjoyed JOE versus Volcano. It was my first watch of it.
Mhm.
I hadn't watched it back in the day,
I've seen it so many times.
which is strange because I loved Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks.
But it's a weird movie.
It's a weird movie, and I can appreciate that now. I don't know that I would have sought it out to see it back then, just based on where I was at.
It's 3 little mini movies in one.
Mm-hmm.
Like Meg Ryan plays 3 different parts. That's
Right,
what's intriguing.
right. Yeah,
like,
that is intriguing.
Like even my early viewing, I didn't fully realize it.
Mm-hmm.
But even you were like, "Is that Meg Ryan?"
Yeah, she plays 3 different parts. She plays her sister, her sister.
She plays sisters.
Uh-huh.
But then at the beginning of the movie, she plays just his coworker.
Oh, yeah, right. His coworker, right.
And it's like the third Meg Ryan that you meet is closest to what the Meg Ryan you see in movies.
Right.
The first 2 Meg Ryans are more like caricatures.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And I really liked how she played that first character.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite Meg Ryan in that movie.
So the whole movie was weird in the fact, one reason I like it and why I got my number 2
Mm-hmm.
was that it almost feels like a dream, like the whole movie's set like a dream. It's not based in reality.
Right,
Like the first 30 minutes is the factory
Mhm.
where he works, and it's all like stylized and
Right.
bleak and depressing. And then the second part of the movie is just like a weird voyage movie when they're on the boat and they're
Yeah.
doing all this stuff. And then the third part of the movie, they're on like a weird
The island.
island.
Yeah.
And I just like how it changes so much, and none of it actually. And there's all these elements that carry over that like symbolism. Like even like when the lightning strikes and the volcano erupts, it looks just like the lightning bolt that's at the factory.
Yeah.
So maybe he did have a brain cloud or some sort of brain.
Yeah, they were. I mean, like I said, I really, really liked it.
Or
But
the
I
fact-
couldn't
yeah.
put it above Pretty Woman.
Or the fact that there's like the
Couldn't.
3 Meg Ryans. Is it like these women all have like the similar elements of who he's like meant to be, fall in love with?
Right. Yeah,
know.
there was a lot of symbolic elements to it that were really good. Really good.
But also at the same time,
I'm glad I watched
under
it.
modern lenses, which then we'll get to Pretty Woman, our 2 and 3s are both fairly problematic films under modern lenses.
True.
So even Joe, its problematic piece is just this island culture
Yeah.
that's they need to be appeased by, they chant their songs in island language.
Yeah.
They drink orange soda.
Yeah.
And they want to appease the gods by someone sacrificing.
Sacrificing a person.
But so it's a little weird watching it. You're like, is this kind of like a bit problematic these days? But I chalked it up. They do talk about how it's like a made up culture of a mix of different cultures sit on this weird island. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm saying Joe versus the Volcano hasn't fully been canceled yet.
No. I wouldn't cancel it.
No, but you know what I'm saying? It's this like weird island. They're saying it's a weird island culture. They're almost making fun of that island culture.
Fun of that culture or whatever.
But it's not
I don't
real.
think it's a real culture.
It's not. No, they say it's not. It's a mix of different people.
I don't see it as problematic.
But the whole time you're watching the third part, you're like, all right, don't cross the line here.
I didn't think
don't
that
get
at
inappropriate.
all.
But they don't. I'm like watching it
I
a
know,
little
but I
cautiously.
did not watch it cautiously like that.
Maybe I was because I brought it to the viewing.
No, I didn't think about that at all, really.
But no, Joe vs. Volcano, it's a favorite. I saw it as a kid in the theater.
I liked it. I'm really glad I saw it.
And I think it's a quirky Tom Hanks movie that just gets overlooked.
It's artistic,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
And out of that Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks, trilogy of films, it's
We've
the
Got
one.
Mail.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in
It's the one no
Seattle.
one really talks about.
Yeah, no, but it was really good.
So we're
Really
bringing
good.
Joe versus the Volcano back. So Pretty Woman was my number 3, your number 2.
My number
We
2.
just swapped them.
So Pretty Woman, I just love like every second of it. Like we actually just watched it today.
That's one we just watched.
And I thought I would kind of doze off throughout it
Mhm.
because I'm a little tired. But I didn't. I was just like captivated. It's one of those movies that I loved when I saw it.
Mhm.
I love every minute of it now. I did, Julia Roberts is slightly cringy at a lot of moments in
Is she?
it. To me,
I didn't think so.
a little cringy in the way she's acting.
I felt a little refreshing because I remember I was watching it and I'm like, man, this was like before Julia Roberts was kind of like Julia Roberts in every film.
This really made her
No,
made
but
her
I'm saying
famous.
she acted a bit different than she acted
Right.
post Pretty Woman.
I mean, in her trying to act like someone who doesn't have class or whatever. Like
It was a bit over the top.
Some of the parts were slightly cringy in that, like,
Like
were
you're
a
not
little
going to be that anxious about using forks
right.
at a fancy
Yeah.
dinner.
So some of that was like, ooh, it was a little cringy to me, but
Or like you don't know how to eat
you
snails
know,
or escargot.
you're right. Well, I don't know if I would have known how to eat snails.
But you're
or
not going to be.
escargot.
You're not going to be.
But you're not going to flip the thing out.
And you're
of
not
the
going to be
thing.
scraping
Yeah.
the things off the pate and whatnot.
So some of that was, but it didn't bother me because not looking at it through a modern lens, just looking at it through how I want to enjoy it. I just loved like the whole romance of it. I think Richard Gere is awesome. He has such kind eyes, and I think the chemistry between them in the movie.
Well, this is like the
just,
Richard Gere heyday of when he was
and
Mr. Sexy.
they're both beautiful people,
Mhm.
and it's just like fun to watch that kind of. Julia Roberts is beautiful.
But
And I just love that movie.
I'm not challenging it too much because I didn't. But as you think about it, I never thought the romance was that strong between them. It was this like, what did she truly?
No, what did
she
think it
truly?
was?
But what did she truly? Up until maybe the very end, what did she truly fall in love with?
I think she fell in love with being treated with respect and like being doted on. Like, I really.
But yet there were multiple scenes where Richard Gere reminded her that, like, look, I'm paying you to do whatever I tell you to do.
Right, because I think that was their way. I mean, first, that's the way it was,
Mhm.
right? And then he reminded her of that, and she. But then as it went on, I think some of those reminders were because they were actually had a chemistry, and he was kind of reminding himself in a way, and she was kind of reminding herself because they did have a chemistry, and I think she fell in love with being treated in a way she had never been treated. And
Yeah.
even though they had sex and this and that, he wasn't like gratuitous with her.
No,
or,
He treated her very well.
And I think she started. I mean, in a way, they started to like understand each other in a way. And she brought out like he was such a workaholic and whatnot
Yeah.
that
Well,
she brought
it's
out
that's the other element of the film, right?
the like silliness and like relaxed nature.
This you have. I mean, it's a.
I mean, yes, in 6 days, it's a little like over the top.
But it's a romantic
That's not
comedy
gonna happen,
trope,
but-
right? He's the straight character,
Mhm.
like Mr. Straight-laced, Mr. Serious.
I mean, is it 100% realistic? No.
and she's
but-
the eccentric, outgoing person
right.
that teaches him to take his shoes off and enjoy the grass.
And enjoy
between
the
your
grass
toes.
and relax. Take the day off of work. Like don't take advantage of people.
Yes. No, he had the true like character arc change.
Right.
And
He
that's,
was the dynamic character. And I mean, she was, but she wasn't.
I don't take the view like, oh, this is a man paying for what he wants and he gets what he wants.
Right.
He does have to make some changes and consistent. And she does have some strength as a character.
She definitely
She
shows
stands up.
strength as a character. I
Yes.
mean, she explains why she got into the business.
Mhm.
I
Well,
mean,
the
this
movie-
happens.
The movie likes to play her as, like I said, it's a big Hollywood movie, right? She's like a prostitute with the lowercase p. Meaning like she's kind of a prostitute, but not really. Like they downplay it. And to
Well,
make
she was new at it.
yeah. And they even try to show you the harshness of it is when Jason Alexander's character like
Right.
repeatedly refers to her as a hooker
Right.
to be demeaning. And the movie's like, no, she's not like a crackhead hooker like the ones we're talking about. She's just down on her luck
Right.
prostitute.
And that's, whatever.
I mean,
that
this
doesn't bother
tries
me
to,
about
like,
it. Yeah,
soften the edges.
yeah. It
But I
tries
think-
to smooth it over. But I feel like,
But I think at the end of the day, you got to remember, it's
is
like,
it realistic
this is a
that
romantic
someone...
comedy. Not like a feminist
Right.
work of art.
It was not a feminist work of art, but they did show her as a strong character. She left the money on the bed at the end, and she was like,
she
no.
repeatedly throws in his face and challenges his thinking of her
Well, 'cause
and what she wants.
Yeah.
And that it's what anybody wants is the fairy tale relationship.
hmm And why
And-
doesn't she deserve that
And
as
she
well?
deserves it no matter what. And and from the beginning of the movie, right, they say, this is on our terms. When
Right.
they're still just turning tricks on the street, they say,
Right.
what's the rule? We do it our time, whatever it is. Our rules, our time,
Right,
our
right.
whatever. And the movie does carry that theme.
Right.
She struggles with it because she gets caught up in the luxury of the money and wealth.
Of course. Yeah.
But then she realizes she wants more than that.
Right.
And she
wants
puts it
love.
on him to say like, so I think it's good. You can hear the 2022
Yeah.
argument of Oh, it's just a man
In
gets to buy
power.
what he wants yet again.
Right.
And he wins her over by all his wealth and
But it wasn't set
Quarter of
in
a-
it wasn't made in 2022.
quarter of $1 million necklace.
This movie would not have been
You know
made
what my
in
favorite character was?
2022.
The hotel manager.
Oh yeah, I
I
love
thought
him.
he was the
Love
best,
him.
the best
He's so good.
down-to-earth character
I like him so much.
in the movie.
Yeah.
The true, like, sort of guide Sherpa for
Yeah,
Julia Roberts
for
and
her.
Richard Gere.
Mhm. I liked him a lot.
Like, you think he's going to be the judgmental kind of trouble villain for her in the situation. But he's truly the one who's helping her adjust to this different world without any real judgment.
Right. Well, he doesn't live in that world either.
That's true.
That's
true.
the thing, and she said that.
Mhm.
Like, we don't really live in this
Yeah.
world. He goes home to a modest apartment or house or whatever.
Well, in
you
the
know,
beginning, Richard Gere doesn't even really see him.
acknowledge him.
Yeah, that's when I chuckled when he's like, he's trying to give Richard Gere his card real quick, and he just like,
Yeah.
who are you? And walks away.
Right. When in reality, he's been helping him the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
But
You
so
know- you know one
I
of
don't
the-
think that movie would have been made in 2022, and it's unfortunate because
Well,
it's
it might
such
not
a
be
good
made.
movie.
It might be made, but maybe just not as popular.
Right, because people would be so judgmental about
But
it.
here's one of the bigger issues, right? Bigger controversies. I'm looking at the cover of the movie.
Uh-huh.
That's not the outfit she wears.
It's not.
It actually is the outfit on the
But it's a
popular
different
cover.
color.
They changed the color.
That's weird, right?
Her dress should be blue, and her top, I think, is like blue too.
White.
Or
Her
white.
top is white.
It's white. You're right. But they changed the skirt to be
That's
black
strange.
and the thing
I
to be.
guess
Well,
it's
I think
just
it
to
works.
look better with
it
the
works
words
for the graphic
and stuff.
design. But anyway, I noticed that.
But I mean, Richard Gere is phenomenal in that movie, and so is Julia Roberts and her friend, who I've seen in a couple different movies.
Yeah, she's popped up in things. She was also in some TV shows.
She was really good too, and I just love that movie. I just can't put, as much as I love Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, I can't put it above them.
I can see how you like it more. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It made it my top 3
Yeah, true.
of 1990.
So our top one is the same.
It's the best picture. We
It
agree,
really
we
was.
agree with the
I
Academy.
have to say,
Dances with Wolves.
I had never seen Dances with Wolves.
No, let's be fair. It did take us, what, 2 nights or 3 nights to watch it?
Maybe 3.
I think because it's 3 hours long.
I think we watched
We
like
watched
an hour
it
a
in
night.
3 hours,
Yeah.
3 1-hour chunks.
I loved it.
It was really good.
I mean, nothing compares to it that we saw.
Of what we saw.
Of what we
Of
saw.
those 5. I mean, it's epic.
It was so good. There was every component of a good story in it, like
Kevin Costner was
adventure,
great.
love.
The handling of the Native American tribes I thought was
Was
good. Because that's another
wonderful.
thing about
So good.
problematic. You're like, oh, any minute now this is going to do something cringy.
So good.
But no, it was good.
It was really good.
The only thing that wasn't great about it
was
is any of Kevin Costner's overdubs
oh, right.
when he's reading his diary.
It's like, does he know how to read? Is he in 5th grade? Like,
Yeah, part of it you're like, is this him like as a soldier of the time?
like not being able to read
Like he
very
can barely
well.
read, but I'm like, he can write and draw really well. I think he would be
I
able
think
to.
it's weird how he reads so non-fluently.
It's-
Like,
Yeah,
it sounds awkward and it's distracting.
it was comical.
Yeah, that was strange about it. But other than that, everything.
But he does it so much.
I know. Everything about the movie was flawless. Really, it was.
That was a really good
good
picture. I remember
besides that
seeing it
part.
as a child. That was your first viewing, though.
That was my first viewing
Wow.
of it. I never saw it for whatever reason.
So you agreed with the Academy.
I
You both
agreed
did.
with the Academy. Yeah.
So that's what's fun about this. Like, okay, I guess that was the best picture of
It definitely was the best
1990.
picture.
I guess what we saw. I mean, we didn't see every movie of 1990. We didn't
I
even
know,
look
but we
at
looked through the list.
of like 100 films that we picked, but we didn't even look at the who. But that's one thing we don't do. We don't look at the other nominees that year.
I mean, I do. Look at the other nominees.
We didn't for 1990, did you? Do you know what those films are?
I don't remember, no.
Yeah, see.
I'm sure we looked at them, but I don't let that weigh on what my pick was. necessarily.
No, and I don't either. But I'm saying, yeah, we're not as I'm saying,
Yeah.
not like we did for the Oscars.
Right.
For this
right,
year, where
right,
we watched all 10 of those
right.
films for Best
Yeah.
Picture.
Yeah. For sure.
No, so it'd be interesting to see in a few minutes, because Costner followed this up with Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves as a 1991 film.
Right.
Will that make either one of our lists in a few minutes? Oh, look, we're at Independent, and they're playing
Pine Grove.
We endorse them as a podcast.
We
This is
do.
Pine Grove.
We do.
Playing
This
on
is
the
Pine
music.
Grove.
This is their second appearance on the podcast
Oh, is it?
as background music.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yes, I don't know if there's much to say about Dances with Wolves other than go
It's
see it.
amazing. See it again. Don't hesitate, but you can watch it in
It's a
3
long
nights.
movie.
It's long,
Just break it up.
but it's good.
It feels like
Every night we turned it back on. I was excited to turn it back on.
know what it feels
It's
like,
just
though?
we didn't want to stay up that late.
Well, I'm glad you like it though, because it does feel kind of like a dad movie. It's like the kind of movie your dad's gonna put on.
Your dad's like, you gotta watch this.
Have you guys seen Dances with Wolves? You're like, yeah, Dad, we've seen Dances with Wolves.
We didn't make our kids watch it.
It's like, what are you watching again? We're watching Dances with Wolves.
True.
I'll say
feel
whether your
like-
dad's like 40 or 75, he's putting on Dances with Wolves
I
at
feel
some
like
point.
back in the day, was that a movie that was always on?
Yeah, no,
At
it
some
was.
point, HBO or something.
I know. I mean, it was. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw it a couple times. So much so when I'm watching this film, every time all of it was familiar.
Yeah. Well, no, not for me, but yeah, I knew the whole concept of it and even the feel and look of it. So I probably caught parts of it. I just had never sat down and watched it from start to finish.
Yeah. So our favorite film of 1990 is Dances with
Dances with
Wolves.
Wolves.
All right, that's good. Okay. So I guess we move on.
We move on to 1991.
So our next, episode like this will be 1991 focused,
Yes,
but that could be like 1 to 2 months from now.
it could be whenever we finish watching.
So we're definitely watching Silence of the Lambs. That was
'Cause
Best
that's
Picture.
the best picture of 1991.
Jodie Foster.
I love Jodie
Anthony
Foster. I'm not
Hopkins.
looking forward to watching
Have you
Silence
seen
of the
Silence of the
Lambs.
Lambs?
Yes.
Okay.
100% I've seen it.
I think
yes.
I've seen it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it 2 or 3 times, but I've 100% seen the whole thing start to finish. Yeah.
And then, within a year or 2 of the movie's release, I read the book.
Oh, I did not read the book.
And then I read the book that came before it.
Oh God, you'd love it. You're a fan.
Manhunter or what? I think the movie, Manhunter. And then I read the book after,
Oh God.
Hannibal.
Okay. So we got that to contend with.
I really
right.
like the Silence of the Lambs book.
I see
I'm saying
that.
this is going to be a tough movie to unseat.
I don't know. There's some good movies. I know looking through the 1991 list, you said you didn't find that many. But
I struggled to
found
find
1,
ones that
2,
I could
3,
really go
4,
for.
5, 6.
All right, so we got
found-
5
no,
movies to
7.
watch for our 1991 episode.
7. I found 7.
Since you have so many, we wrote them on little coasters here at.
We got to take
Yeah,
pictures of our coasters.
We'll post our coasters. We'll post the coasters. So our thing is we're each going to pick 2 that we think will either be what? Better than Silence of the Lambs,
A contender.
a contender, something we like better. It could be something we've seen or something we've always wanted to see and we're thinking, hey, I think this might be better. If I knew then what I know now,
Right.
something. So since you have so many, I'll let you do your first one.
Well, I know 100% my first one. That was not a hard pick
All right,
for me.
so what is it?
So my first, you know what it is.
What? I think I know
My
what
first
it is.
one is Thelma and Louise.
Thelma and Louise.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I think one of them won, maybe Gina Davis won supporting actress
Okay.
or whatever.
And Brad Pitt's in it. This is like a famous early Brad Pitt film.
I don't even think about Brad Pitt
He
when
has
I
a
think
small
about
role.
this movie,
Small
but yeah.
Pitt, small role.
I just love that movie. I think it's iconic for that year. Like it's a strong woman movie back in the 90s.
The whole before memes were memes. The whole
Yes.
ending is a meme.
very
if you will.
iconic.
Mhm.
I just love it. Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis. That was Gina Davis's highlight moment.
You know I like Gina Davis.
I know you like Gina Davis.
That's all I'll say.
Anyway, that was not the hard pick for me. My
And
second
I'll be
one was
honest,
my
I
hard
think
pick.
it could be a contender out of anything we've said
For
so far.
sure.
I think it's just write it down now. Everybody who's at home, write it down. I think it's going to come down between Silence of the Lambs and Thelma and Louise.
For sure. 100%. Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot of other good movies, I feel like, that year. But Thelma and Louise is a standout movie.
I've seen it once. Early, close to when it came out. Not in the theaters or anything, but like it's on TV, it's on whatever you
And I
rent
can't
it.
wait to watch it again. I'm
Yeah,
really
it's gonna be fun.
excited.
I'm excited for that. I figured you'd pick it.
Yeah.
All right, so it's Silence of the Lambs, Thelma and Louise. My first pick is a film I've seen.
I wonder if it's on my list.
I didn't see it in 91. I saw it probably closer to 94, 95, heck, maybe even 1996.
Okay.
It stars Keanu Reeves
I have this one on my
and
list.
the late River Phoenix.
I have this one on my
All right,
list.
well,
This is my number 2.
It gets crossed off. My
Okay.
own Private
Okay,
Idaho.
That was mine.
Yeah, you've seen it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've only seen it once. Like probably when it came out, I saw it.
No, it's one I saw.
That's what I decided was my number 2.
Early on when I was
Okay.
discovering more like indie, arty cinema. It was just directed by Gus Van Sant. And of course it had River Phoenix and Keanu Reeves in it. Like, what is this sort of small or weird about a narcoleptic?
Yeah.
But they're like Johns. They're like prostitutes.
Yes, yeah.
Going on this journey.
Yeah.
So when I saw that's on the list, I was like, I got to revisit My Own Private Idaho. And it's another one of those
Me
that
too. I thought
is
that
kind
too.
of a cult classic
Mm-hmm.
that has its lasting appeal. And
sure.
so I was like, My Own Private Idaho on the list. That was my first pick. That was the only easy pick for me.
So that was my second pick.
All right, well then you get a different one off your list.
Oh my God! Now I have to pick a different one.
I know.
Okay.
All my other ones were like iffies.
All my other ones are iffy too.
Oh,
but
you're coming in strong. Like, oh,
I know.
1991
no.
is
Okay,
a landmark.
So
Is
can
a
I tell you what
landmark
I'm
year in
deciding?
cinema.
Okay. So here, can I tell you my list?
No, because I might have something, and I might.
Oh,
well,
okay.
afterwards, we'll say what we have left over.
Because that's your number 1.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4 other
I
films.
hate to go with this next pick.
You gotta
You
go
know
with your
why?
gut. All right.
Okay. Okay. So
What is she gonna pick?
I'm trying to decide between 2 right now.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm gonna go with oh my God. Okay.
You can't even say it. Everybody's waiting with bated
I
breath.
know.
Like she's gonna pick Hook.
No. Okay. Oh,
This is gonna be My Girl. Terminator 2. I'm just naming 1991 films.
I'm gonna go with Frankie and Johnny.
Frankie and Johnny. Tell me about Frankie and
Yeah.
Johnny. I don't even know if I know this film.
I think this is another Robert De Niro. I knew when I looked
We
it up.
have
I was
another
like,
De Niro
oh,
film on the
yeah.
list, Cape Fear.
Hold on. I gotta make sure I'm saying the right one.
Frankie and
So
Johnny.
I looked it all up and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that movie. I think that was a really good movie.
Frankie and Johnny is better.
I'm sorry, not Robert De Niro. This is Al Pacino, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I
sorry.
was gonna say, Robert De Niro's in another 1991 film, Cape Fear.
No. Sorry, I was getting him mixed up with Al Pacino. So it's romantic comedy. It's Al Pacino, Michelle Pfeiffer. And I really liked it. I remember it being like my grandmother and I saw it in the theater together. I remember it being like one of my favorite movies. And that was a contender with another one. But I can't pick another Robin Williams movie. I can't
Oh,
pick
so you were
another
thinking The
one.
Fisher King.
Yeah. I'm not going to pick another. I'm not going to do it. So this was I was going in between this one and The Fisher King. And I was like, I'm going to go with this one. Because
Okay.
I remember
never
really,
seen
really
Frankie and
liking it.
Who directed this? Do you have the
I
director?
never know the directors, but I could look it up. Hold on. It's directed by Gary Marshall.
Oh, it's a Gary Marshall film?
I don't know who Gary Marshall is, but
No, you know Gary
Nathan
Marshall.
Lane is in it as well. And I really liked it.
I'm looking at it here.
I thought it was a really good movie.
Listen, it's well, Rincha. I mean, it's funny you picked 2 Gary Marshall films in a row.
Did I?
Well, he directed Pretty Woman.
Oh.
So we
So I
know
must
what you
like
like.
Gary
We
Marshall.
know what you like. You like Gary Marshall films.
I like romantic comedies.
Okay, so that leaves me for my number 2. I'm down to like.
Was The Fisher King on your number?
Fisher King was like a fringe pick. It was.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to do the Fisher King, but I really wasn't.
Okay.
So, but my other 2 remaining are ones that I haven't seen,
Oh. Okay.
but I feel I need to see them.
I hope I've seen it.
Well, I might have seen one of these, and the one I'm going to pick, I've probably seen enough.
Okay.
I've seen clips of it. I just haven't dedicated to sitting watching it. So I am picking just to sort of fill in the gaps and to give it a solid, focused watch. I was going to pick Barton Finch, but I'm not. It's a Coen Brothers film.
Okay.
But I'm not doing that one. So that was one of my contenders. Instead, I'm going to pick Boys in the Hood.
Oh, okay. I've seen that movie.
Boys
I
in
like
the
that movie. I almost picked that movie.
I remember, like I said, I know I've seen some of it.
I don't remember the whole movie.
Or I have seen the whole thing. I don't remember all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that one I need to go see. Again, it could be a contender.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think. Who directed it? Spike Lee?
John Singleton.
Oh, okay. I think it won awards that year.
No, it did. And so I saw some of it or not all of it back in the day, so I wanted to revisit. So that's my pick, Boys in the Hood. So our 5 are going to be
Frankie and Johnny,
Silence of the Lambs,
Silence of the Lambs, My Own Private Idaho, Thelma and Louise, and Boys in the Hood.
That's a good year.
This is going to be a good one.
That's a good fight.
I'm really looking forward to watching all those movies.
I know. We already know what number
again.
5 is going to be. That's fun.
What?
No, I'm just joking.
Are you being mean?
No, yeah, a little
Frankie
bit.
and Johnny?
Yeah, a little bit.
You haven't even seen it.
I know, but with those other 4, how could it not be number 5? You're like, it's purposely my number 4 now.
I think you're being judgmental.
All right, so what were some
without
other ones on your
experience.
list that didn't make it? I was just joking.
Well, that didn't make it. I was just writing down ones I really liked that year, and then I was like, yeah, but they wouldn't be contenders for Best Picture. So
But it doesn't have to be a
Backdraft, I
contender.
love.
It's just something you think we would enjoy more than the Best Picture.
Backdraft.
I thought only because of Kurt Russell. But I'll give you a little hint. I tried watching Backdraft a couple months ago one day.
Mhm.
I bailed.
Really?
Yeah.
I really loved it back in the day.
Probably because of
It's
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, because I love
And
Kevin
I would
Bacon.
go in for Kurt Russell. But no, I backed out.
I
of it.
watched everything with Kevin Bacon
I was
in
like,
it.
Backdraft.
After
backing out.
Footloose, forget about it. Anything Kevin
So
Bacon
anyway,
was
I don't
in,
think
I
I don't
watched.
think it would have been as compelling as we thought.
Okay. Sleeping with the Enemy.
Yeah, I thought
loved.
because of Julia Roberts, she might get a nod.
But it got 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's not good. So I was like, maybe I just liked it because of the woman abuse
I think that was like,
Julia Roberts.
but it was her big
thing.
movie after
Yeah.
Pretty Woman, so everybody was paying
Everybody
attention.
watched it.
And
And
it might
then,
have
of
gotten-
course, one of my favorite movies that I would watch again and again and again, but I know wouldn't be up for Best Picture, Father of the Bride.
Yeah, but
I
again, you could have
love
picked it
that
because
movie.
all it has to be is something you think we would like better than the Best Picture.
Yeah, but I really loved Father of the Bride. That was my.
I agree,
on my
but
list.
Father of the Bride, it kind of got
It's
overdone because they did a part 2,
Yeah, but I'm just thinking Father of the Bride Part 1.
and then they did. But I'm saying the franchise sometimes
yeah,
you
it's
take it
sputtered
too
out.
far, it hurts the
But
original
Steve
source.
Martin's great, and
They did that weird
know.
Father of the Bride COVID.
I think
special.
Frankie and Johnny's better than Father of the Bride.
hope so.
But I know it is.
So those were your picks?
Those are my other ones on my list. Yeah.
I didn't have many. I did the Barton Finch, as I said. Cape Fear was on my list.
Oh, I saw that. I like that a lot.
Cape Fear. And though I knew it wouldn't be kind of like Your Father the Bride, like What About Bob
Oh yeah, I like that too.
was a possibility. And then I kind of wanted to give City Slickers a chance.
I think I saw that, but I don't remember it.
It's
Is that like Christian Slater?
Billy Crystal.
Oh, Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal, Chevy Chase, I think, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I know
okay.
Billy Crystal's
I was
in it.
thinking something else.
Chevy Chase might not be, and I might be thinking of Three Amigos. But Billy Crystal's in City
Yeah.
Slickers.
Okay.
No, so I think
Well,
we did some good
I
picks.
think we have some good picks.
So anybody else can watch along those
Yeah.
5 films, and in about
And
a
then-
month or 2, we'll talk about
Whatever.
them.
We're not going to commit.
No. Our goal is to eventually get through the whole decade.
We will.
I know. Just might take us 2 years instead of 1.
Maybe.
That's
It's
cool.
okay.
We got all the time in the world. All right. So this is good. Our 1990 episode.
Yeah.
In
This
the
was
can.
fun.
1991 been prepped.
This was a good Sunday fun day for
And
us.
then who knows, whatever our next movie is.
Wait. We watched a movie yesterday.
Yeah, but
didn't
we're not going to podcast.
We're not
about
going to podcast about that one.
it. Not everything we watch gets podcasted.
That's true.
So, because
We
that
don't
would be the
have
night
time.
before we'd have to talk about it right now. And our beers are empty.
And we're going home.
And there's weirdly at 10 o'clock at night, there's,
No one at Independent.
well, no, there's weirdly beach-clad people showing
There
up.
is.
In
Isn't
bikinis.
it strange? Yeah, there really is.
10 o'clock at night, it's chilly. The beach is nowhere in sight.
No, but there are beach-clad people showing up here. Anyway.
So this might be our cue to go. All right, so
And
we'll,
fireworks
even
going
though we
off.
already cheered, we'll cheer again. Toast, whatever. And till 1991. Bye.
Bye.